You want to piss black people off? It's so simple, man. I promise you, it is so easy. Just bring race into the conversation. Whether it's valid, invalid, it doesn't matter. Bring race into the conversation. No matter if the point that you was bringing race into it for had actual context and intention and merit and actual point to it, don't matter. It's all going to be seen as ambiguous, and it's going to leave people on the defense, and they're going to feel attacked. You know, black people, that is, we're going to feel attacked every single time, simply because Byron Donalds made the statement during the Jim Crow era, the black family was together. That alone just made him out, Byron Donalds, that is, to be a racist against black people. And also he's getting called coon and all these other things under the sun. But here's an exchange between him and grifter Al Sharpton. And boy, I love the way he just put all the facts in that man's face.
You mentioned Jim Crow. Wait a minute. I've watched your video. You mentioned Jim Crow 4 times. One time you referred to families. All families did less. They had higher divorce rates in the 60s and 70s as the nation opened up. This wasn't because of Jim Crow kept blacks scared. Blacks couldn't vote.
Because of welfare.
Couldn't go downtown. I mean, to in any way infer that the families, black families, were better than Jim Crow. I mean, I've said things that I've later said I shouldn't have said it that way.
I've never said that.
Can't you own that even sanitizing Jim Crow, even if that wasn't your intention, was to say, that's my intention, I'm sorry for using those words?
So he's trying to get him to conform to being a good black or a good black person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to be a good black man for the Democrat people. Like, as opposed to actually giving him credit for thinking for himself and then intellectually being dishonest with misconstruing his statements. Al Sharpton, we seeing right through you, brother.
Well, first of all, I never sanitized Jim Crow. I was just talking about the era in which black marriage rates were higher than they were during the Great Society and every other point in American history.
But why did you say Jim Crow?
Because that's the period of time, Reverend.
The period of time was the 50s, if you wanted to say the 50s.
That's when it happened.
You said Jim Crow.
That's when it happened. Because that was the era in which marriage rates were higher. Look, you had Joe Biden a couple of years ago talking about Jim Crow 2.0, talking about Georgia's law, and he lied. He lied then. So are we not allowed to talk about that era, or only are we allowed to talk about it when we do want to recall all the history of Jim Crow and all the tragedies that occurred during Jim Crow?
If we're going to talk about the era, Congressman, and you name a race-based law, then you cannot take race out of the fact Jim Crow was a law against black people. You weren't just talking about the era of Dwight Eisenhower and Harry Truman. You named Jim Crow. There's only one.
See, he's hung up on Jim Crow. Completely removed all the context, all the intention as to why he brought up Jim Crow. He's literally just upset that he used that name. That's it. Semantics, y'all. In your feelings, y'all. You see what I'm saying? How to get black people riled up? Just like this. You said Jim Crow. Bro, okay, I said Jim Crow. Okay, you didn't like it? Fine. But that's a true statement. That was the era that it was in. But you said Jim Crow. It's like, bro, come on. Give me something other than your feelings in this debate right now, please.
One way you could deal with Jim Crow, and that's by race. I mean, look, you and I have mutual friends. People say you're a straight shooter. We may disagree on politics. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But look, you were born in Brooklyn. You went down into the South, went to Florida State. You have an interracial marriage. You're the congressman of a district that's not a black district.
What the hell does it?
I mean, how can you even live with yourself acting like Jim Crow was a good era or better era for blacks? What happened to you?
Okay, that's real cute. That's real cute. I did not say that. And I'm not going to sit here and insinuate that against you. Because right now you're lying about what I said. I did say Jim Crow. I did reference it 3 times. That's not to say that it was better. I never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth. When are you going to get that through your skull and everybody else's skull? I never said that. And the difference between me and a lot of other Republicans, I'm not going to sit here. You said it was better for us.
No, bro, you're literally ignoring everything that this man is saying, bro. Yes, this is a Pause Fist video because unfortunately, God ain't through with me yet, and I have to work on my issues with being able to deal with people like him. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This is why y'all ain't gonna see me in no street interview yet. Not until I go to therapy, and I'm not even joking. I'm literally going to therapy so I can deal with people. No joke.
I'm not going to let you
under Jim Crow to bring families together. Did you say that?
Is lying. Hakeem Jeffries was lying. The Biden campaign was lying.
All right.
Go look at my words.
Well,
go look at my words.
Right. People can
did
look
I
at
say
your
Jim
words.
Crow was better? No, I did not.
You said
I did not say Jim Crow was better. I never said it was good. I did not have nostalgia. I never said any of those things. I was talking about black families and black family marriage rates during that time. And the
all right, then what did Jim Crow do to contribute to black families? Hello?
I'm not talking. Oh, my gosh.
You said that you said under Jim Crow.
Jim Crow has nothing. Listen, he was just citing the era. He's saying, hey, this is the era in which this was happening. That's it. You're saying, oh, okay, so what about the Jim Crow helped that happen? I never said that it helped it happen. I'm just saying in that era, this is what happened. This is what was happening. Oh, so in that era, how does that have to do with what happened?
Families. So explain to me what Jim Crow did to help black families.
The marriage rates during the Jim Crow era were higher for black families up until the point of the Great Society. I did not say that. I said they were. And this is the problem. Because you're trying to say that I said because of Jim Crow marriages were at a higher rate. I did not say that. I said during. I said during.
But why did you use Jim Crow? Jim Crow was a race law. Well, first of all, under Great Society did programs like manpower training, model cities, train young people. HEW didn't do anything about families. It's health, education, welfare. So, I mean, what are you talking about? They were not the antithesis to marriage. I mean, congressman. All right, let's go to this.
Man, kudos to Byron Donalds for displaying a level of patience that I aspire to have. Not even joking. I'm so serious, y'all. Y'all think I'm over here just talking in a YouTube video saying like, yeah, man, I'm a very cool, calm, and collected type of person, level-headed individual and things of that nature. But when I watch interactions like this, it just gets under my skin and it makes me realize that, hey, I got some work to do. I gotta go to church. Dead serious. This ain't a joke. I gotta go get closer with God. I gotta reevaluate my spiritual life, get all my morals and integrity lined up, because I know better. And if I was in that position, I still wouldn't have did better. I'm letting y'all know right now, it wouldn't have happened. All of the stuff I learned in church, all the stuff I learned, through wisdom, through the wisdom that was passed down to me will go right out the window. And I'm not okay with that. So I gotta go talk to somebody for sure. Anyhow, I find it very hard to believe that this man right here was a pastor, as somebody Christie wrote. I still find it hard to believe that he was a pastor. He's racked in so much money to enrich himself. Millions of dollars from grifting, from trying to mislead people. The thing that pissed me off the whole time about this is just from man to man, not black man to black man, just from human to human. The man, Byron, is literally telling you, hey, I didn't say that the Jim Crow era was better for black people. I only made the statement that during the Jim Crow era, black people marriage rates were higher and the family was, more important than what it is being displayed to be as, in these times as it evolved, He's like, oh, well, what does Jim Crow have to do with it? Oh, well, Jim Crow is just the era in which all of this was taking place. The Jim Crow laws that were actually put in place didn't necessarily have a direct relation to this. I mean, maybe it does if we go down a list of, psychological effects of it. Maybe we can find somewhere down the line to make that an argument or whatever. But this isn't my thesis here. I'm just saying in that era. Well, why couldn't you say during the 50s? I mean, during the 50s, Jim Crow era, literally, in my opinion, you're saying he's just saying the same thing. And I think that he's also showing that during the Jim Crow era, the point that he was making, in my opinion, for bringing it up was just to say, hey, during the time where the country was most divided, one of the times where the country was most divided, between blacks and white people, we as black people still were able to thrive on in our own little space. Now, we had our hiccups, we had some hardships, we had some, roads we couldn't cross and all that we definitely had to fight to make sure that was possible for us, but that's just what it was. And I truly hope the American people were able to see exactly the tactic that Al Sharpton was trying to use. Semantics, y'all. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that pisses me off because it's like, okay, I will legit take that as your argument if you actually showed that you understood what the point that was being made, was. If you can say, oh man, I totally understand where you was coming from. I get the point that you was trying to make. I get the lesson in it and all that, but I probably would have worded it differently. I take that a little more respectful, even though it still didn't matter, as long as the point was made and no disrespect was intended on purpose and no demeaning factor was there. Hey man, get your panties out your ass. It's just what it is. Grow up. And the one thing that I can say I enjoyed the most was how much Al Sharpton tried to guide the conversation, but Byron Donalds did not let up even a little bit. Yes, the Jim Crow era was up until the 1960s. So Byron is accurate. LBJ destroyed the black community, the black family, I'm sorry, in many of their communities in our communities in the inner city. I don't like talking about black people as if I'm not black, y'all. Y'all see like influencers be like, yeah, black people this and black people that. Like sometimes I may speak in third person, but I'm black too. So I include myself in the bunch as well. I ain't like these other influencers. Oh, these black people over here, look, we, you know, I got to take the good with the bad, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? Just what it is. And after watching this, I will say that Vivek, you know, your spot starting to get a little whoop in terms of who I would like to see as the VP with Trump. Because Byron, dog, hey, dog. Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, you convincing me.